A perfect brisket is a masterclass in patience, where a piece of meat so tough it was once considered scrap becomes the most tender, sought-after prize in American barbecue. To understand why this specific cut commands such reverence, you have to look past the smoke and the spice rub to the biology of the animal itself. The brisket is a powerhouse muscle. Located directly beneath the first 5 ribs of a cow, it supports a massive portion of the animal's weight as it moves. Because it is constantly working, the muscle is dense and packed with connective tissue, primarily collagen. If you were to throw a raw brisket onto a hot grill like a steak, you would be left with a piece of meat so chewy and rubbery it would be nearly impossible to eat. This is where the craft of the Pitmaster transforms biology into art. The secret lies in the slow, low-temperature breakdown of that collagen. When held at a steady temperature, usually between 225 and 250 degrees Fahrenheit, for 10 to 14 hours, that tough collagen doesn't just disappear, it melts. It converts into gelatin, a silky, luxurious substance that coats the muscle fibers. This is what gives authentic brisket that signature melt-in-the-mouth texture. It is a slow-motion chemical transformation that cannot be rushed. But the journey to that perfect slice is fraught with a phenomenon that has frustrated amateur cooks for generations: the stall. Somewhere around the middle of the cook, the internal temperature of the brisket will simply stop rising. It can sit at the same temperature for hours, seemingly mocking the person holding the tongs. This isn't a malfunction of the smoker, it is a physical process called evaporative cooling. As the heat hits the surface of the meat, moisture begins to evaporate. Just as sweat cools your skin on a hot day, this evaporation cools the surface of the brisket, locking the internal temperature in place until the surface moisture is finally depleted. Understanding the stall is the first step toward moving from a novice to a master. Then, there is the visual hallmark of the craft, the smoke ring. When you slice into a brisket, you will often see a distinct, vibrant pink layer just beneath the dark, crusty bark. Many people mistakenly assume this is a sign of undercooking, but it is actually a chemical reaction. Nitrogen dioxide from the wood smoke interacts with myoglobin, the protein responsible for storing oxygen in the muscle tissue. This reaction fixes the pink color in place, acting as a permanent badge of honor that proves the meat was exposed to genuine wood smoke for an extended period. The history of this process is as grounded as the science. In the late 19th century, Central Texas became a melting pot for European immigrants, particularly those from Germany and the Czech Republic. These settlers brought with them a tradition of meat markets and a pragmatic approach to food. They didn't have refrigeration, so they used smoke as a preservation tool for unsold cuts of beef. They would smoke the tougher, less desirable pieces of meat, the brisket, to keep them from spoiling. These smoked leftovers were sold to local laborers and ranchers, who quickly realized that with the right amount of time and patience, these humble cuts were actually the most flavorful parts of the cow. What started as a necessity for preservation evolved into a cultural identity. Today, the brisket is the centerpiece of the Texas barbecue tradition, a dish that demands respect for the animal, the fire, and the passage of time. It is a reminder that in a world obsessed with speed and instant gratification, some of the best things in life are only possible when you are willing to wait. Whether you are standing in line at a legendary smokehouse or tending to your own backyard pit, you are participating in a ritual that connects the chemistry of the muscle to the history of the frontier. It is more than just a meal, it is the culmination of heat, smoke, and the slow, steady work of turning something tough into something truly extraordinary.